Hi students, good morning. How are you? Fine? Okay. Last day I explained different types of numericals in solution. Molarity, normality, mole fraction, like that. Different models completed. Extra models is there. Complete the lesson I will give. Now today I will start second concept. First concept concentration terms completed, and now I will start second concept solubility. Solubility concept. Solubility. What is meant by solubility? Solubility can be defined as the amount of solute dissolving 100 grams of solution, 100 grams of solvent to form saturated solution. To form a saturated solution is known as solubility. Once again, solubility can be defined as the amount of solute dissolved in 100 grams of the solvent to form a saturated solution at a given temperature is known as solubility. So generally solubility equal to weight of solute by weight of solvent into 100. Weight of solvent into 100. That is a solubility. Solubility equal to weight of solute by weight of solvent into 100. So these are weight of solute also grams, solvent also grams. Once again, so solubility can be defined as the amount of solute dissolved in 100 grams of the solvent to form a saturated solution at a given temperature is known as solubility. So these are solubility equal to weight of solute by weight of solvent into 100. So that is a solubility. So next depends on solubility. Solutions can be classified into three types. Depends on solubility. Solutions can be classified into three types. First one is completed. Next one depends on solubility. Depends on solubility based on anyone. Based on solubility, solutions classified into three types. First one is unsaturated solutions. Second, saturated solutions. Third one is supersaturated solutions. Okay. So based on solubility, solutions can be classified into three types. First one is unsaturated solutions, saturated solutions, and supersaturated solution. First one is unsaturated solution. What is unsaturated solution? Unsaturated solution can be defined as a solution in which more solute can be dissolved without rising temperature is known as unsaturated solution. Unsaturated solution means a solution in which more solute can be dissolved without rising temperature is known as unsaturated solution. Second one is saturated solution. Saturated solution means a solution in which no no solute can be dissolved further at given temperature is known as saturated solution. A solution in which no solute can be dissolved further at given temperature is known as saturated solution. Okay, next saturated solution. Supersaturated solution, a solution in which more solute can be dissolved with rising temperature is known as supersaturated solution. But supersaturated solution is unstable. Anyway, so these are unsaturated solution, saturated solution, supersaturated solution. Unsaturated solution means a solution in which more solute can be dissolved. A solution in which more solute can be dissolved without rising temperature is known as unsaturated solution. Saturated solution, a solution in which no solute can be dissolved further at given temperature is known as saturated solution. Okay, next, supersaturated solution, a solution in which more solute can be dissolved with rising temperature is known as supersaturated solution. It is a unsaturated and saturated and supersaturated solution. These are depends on which property? Based on solubility, solutions can be classified into three types. And another one is, okay, unsaturated, saturated and supersaturated solutions. Okay, ma'am? Write all points. Next, another one is in a saturated solution. In a saturated solution, there is equilibrium exists between undissolved solute and dissolved molecules or ions. In a saturated solution, there is equilibrium exists between undissolved solute and dissolved molecules or ions. Simply, so undissolved usage to undissolved usage to ions. Ions means A plus and B minus, that is undissolved. So undissolved solute, these are ions. Here ions means cations and anions, plus means cations and anions. That is it is a saturated solution. In a saturated solution, there is equilibrium exists between undissolved solute and dissolved molecules or ions. So these are three types of solutions: unsaturated, saturated and supersaturated solutions. And another one is depends on solubility. Okay, depends on solubility. Based on solubility, salts can be classified into Based on solubility, salts can be classified into three types. First one is soluble salts. Second, sparingly soluble salts. And third one is insoluble salts. Anyway, based on solubility, salts can be classified into three types of soluble salts, sparingly soluble salts, insoluble salts. So first soluble salts. First I am explaining soluble salts. Soluble salts first have solubility greater than 1 gram per 100 ml. So soluble salts have solubility greater than 1 gram per 100 ml. So 1 gram per 100 ml of the solution greater than. So soluble salts have solubility greater than 1 gram per 100 ml solution. That is a soluble salts. Here soluble salts examples. NaCl, KCl, BaCl2, etc. Soluble salts example: sodium chloride, potassium chloride, barium chloride, etc. It is a soluble salt. Soluble salts. Here soluble salts have solubility greater than 1 gram per 100 ml solution. So that is a soluble salts. Second one is sparingly soluble salts have solubility less than 1 gram per 100 ml solution. Okay, 1 gram less than 1 gram per 100 ml or greater than 0.001 gram per 100 ml. Once again, sparingly soluble salts have solubility less than 1 gram per 100 ml or greater than 0.001 gram per 100 ml. Example of sparingly soluble salts. Example: silver chloride, silver iodide, barium sulfate and lead sulfate, PbSO4. These are all examples of sparingly soluble salts. Sparingly soluble salts have solubility less than 1 gram per 100 ml or greater than 0.001 gram per 100 ml. Sparingly soluble salt example: silver chloride, silver iodide, barium sulfate and lead sulfate. Third one is insoluble salts. Insoluble salts have solubility less than 0.0019 gram per 100 ml. So insoluble salt solubility less than 0.0019 grams per 100 ml. So insoluble salts best example silver nitrate. These are best example silver nitrate. So these are based on solubility. Salts can be classified into three types. So first soluble salts, sparingly soluble salts and insoluble salts. So these are examples. First category examples: NaCl, KCl, BaCl2. Second category: silver chloride, silver iodide, barium sulfate, lead sulfate. Third category example: silver nitrate. So these are solubility, and the solubility definition depends on solubility solutions. How many types? Three types: unsaturated, saturated, supersaturated solutions. And another one depends on solubility. Salts can be classified into three types: soluble salts, sparingly soluble salts and insoluble salts. So these are some important points of solubility. Okay, next one, writing. Factors influencing solubility of solids in liquids. Factors influencing solubility of solids in liquids. What are the factors affecting the solubility of solids in liquids? First, generally, temperature. Second one is pressure. Third one is nature of solute and solvent. Solubility of ionic solids. And the fourth one is solubility of molecular solids. Molecular solids. Temperature, pressure, nature of solute, solvent, solubility of ionic solids, and another one is solubility of molecular solids. Generally, first I will explain temperature. Temperature. First factor is temperature. If the temperature means if the dissolution means solubility. When a solute dissolves in particular solvent, solution is formed. Dissolution means generally solubility. That means solution is formed. Dissolution means solution is formed. Generally, one solute dissolved in a particular solvent to form solution. Dissolution is formation of solution, that is a dissolution. If the dissolution is endothermic, solubility increases, temperature also increases. If the dissolution is endothermic, increase the temperature, solubility also increases. If the dissolution is exothermic, temperature increases, solubility decreases. That is a temperature. Suppose if dissolution is endothermic, within bracket delta H solution is greater than to 0. If the dissolution is endothermic, solubility increases with increasing temperature. Best example, NaNO2, KNO3 and NaCl. These are short examples. If the dissolution is endothermic, the solubility increases with increasing temperature. Example, NaNO2, KNO3 and NaCl. So these are delta H means enthalpy of solution or heat of solution. Generally we know heat of solution delta H solution equal to lattice energy plus hydration energy. So heat of solution equal to lattice energy plus hydration energy. Lattice energy is inversely proportional to hydration energy. So that is a delta H of solution is greater than to 0. That is a endothermic reaction. In endothermic reaction, heat is absorbed. Temperature heat is absorbed. Exothermic reaction, heat is liberated. Anyway, dissolution is formation of solution. When a solute dissolves in particular solvent, solution is formed. That is, formation of solution is considered as a dissolution. If the dissolution is endothermic, formation of solution is endothermic. Solubility increases with increase in temperature. So with respect to our solubility of solids in liquids, I am explaining. Okay, example NaNO2, KNO3, NaCl. In this salts, temperature increases. Solubility also increases. That is one of the example, temperature. If dissolution is endothermic. Second case, if dissolution is exothermic. If the dissolution is exothermic, delta H, heat of solution is less than to 0. Solubility decreases with increase in temperature. Which type of salts examples? Which type of salts example in this case? In this salts examples, sodium sulfate and the sodium hydroxide solution. Among these two, so in this case, sodium sulfate, sodium hydroxide, these are base, these are salt. In this case, temperature increases, so solubility decreases because the dissolution is exothermic. Exothermic means heat is liberated. Heat liberated means temperature very less. That means temperature less means solubility more. That is temperature is inversely proportional to temperature. So solubility. So in this case, if dissolution is exothermic, solubility decreases with increase in temperature. Example, sodium sulfate and sodium hydroxide. So that is another factor. So these are temperature. Next another one is second factor, pressure. Second factor, pressure. Pressure has no significant of solubility of. Pressure has no significant effect on solubility. Pressure has no significant effect on solubility because solids and liquids highly incompressible because solids and liquids have highly incompressible. So pressure has no significant effect on solubility because solids and liquids have highly incompressible. So that is a second factor, pressure. Okay, so these are factors influencing solubility of solids and liquids. and the third one is nature of solute and solvent. Solubility of ionic solids. Solubility of ionic solids. Generally, we know lattice energy and iteration energy. Lattice energy means the amount of energy released when one mole of the ionic crystal formed from the constituent gaseous ions is known as lattice energy. Lattice energy always exothermic reaction, but iteration energy endothermic reaction. Generally, iteration energy is reverse of lattice energy. It is inversely proportional to lattice energy. Iteration energy means the amount of energy. It is also exothermic. Iteration means one mole of crystal is dissolved in particular solvent. One mole of crystal is dissolved in particular solvent. The amount of heat is also released. That is known as iteration energy. Okay, iteration energy is reverse of lattice energy. Anyway, so nature of solute and solvent. Smaller the lattice energy of ionic compounds, smaller the lattice energy, greater the iteration energy of ionic compounds. Greater the iteration energy of ionic compounds, easily soluble in water or polar solvent. Generally, lattice energy depends on the electrostatic force of attraction of oppositely charged ions. It is represented by F equal to Q1 by R square D. Here F means force. F means lattice energy. Lattice energy depends on the electrostatic force of attraction of two oppositely charged ions. So here Q and Q bar charge of ions. R means radius of ions, and D means dielectric constant. Generally, ionic compounds soluble in particular solvents having more dielectric constants. So, ionic compounds are soluble in particular solvents having more dielectric constant. For example, so water H2O. So D value of H2O is 82, and D value of methyl alcohol, methanol is 33.5. Anyway, so dielectric constant value more means ionic compounds are soluble in particular solvent. So ionic compounds are soluble in water having dielectric constant, so 82. Generally, so solvents having higher value of dielectric constant, ionic compounds are soluble in particular solvents. Anyway, ionic compounds are soluble in water because water having high dielectric constant value. So these are nature of solute and solvent, that is ionic solids. Anyway, these are our lattice energy. Lattice energy depends on the electrostatic force of attraction of oppositely charged ions. That means lattice energy is represented by F equal to Q bar by R square D. Q bar means charge of ions, oppositely charge of ions. Here cation and anion. So charge of ions. R means radius of ion. Radius is nothing but distance. D means dielectric constant. Solvents having more dielectric constant means ionic compounds are soluble in these solvent. Anyway, so these are nature of solute and solvent. And another one is next solubility of molecular solids. Solubility of molecular solids. Molecular solid means non-ionic solids. Solubility of molecular solids, non-ionic solids. Generally, molecular solids having molecular solids having polar groups. Polar groups, that means OH groups, polar groups. Molecular solids means non-ionic solids having polar groups. These are soluble in polar solvents. Polar solvent means like water, alcohol, etc. So molecular solids is nothing but non-ionic solids. Molecular solids having polar groups containing OH group. These are soluble in polar solvents like water and methyl alcohol. Water and alcohol. Other are insoluble in non-polar solvents. So that is a solubility of molecular solids, non-ionic solids. Anyway, molecular solids having polar group. These are dissolving polar solvents like water, alcohol. Others insoluble in, others are soluble in non-polar solvents. Non-polar solvents carbon tetrachloride, chloroform, benzene, etc. Anyway, so these are solubility of molecular solids or non-ionic solids. Anyway, so these are factors influencing solubility of solids in liquids. Next, factors influencing solubility of gases in liquid. Solubility of gases in liquids. What are the factors affecting the solubility? Main factor, temperature. Second, nature of solute. Nature of solvent. Fourth one is pressure. Pressure, one of the factors that is within bracket. Henry's law is a very important. Pressure factor is very important. Factors influencing solubility of gases in liquids. Temperature, nature of solute, nature of solvent, and pressure. Pressure factor very important. Temperature, generally, before I explained solubility of solids in liquid, as temperature increases, solubility increases. But solubility of gases in liquids, temperature increases, solubility decreases, because in this case, increase in temperature, solubility decreases. Why? Because generally solubility decreases because gas plus solvent, gas dissolved in particular solvent to form solution and some amount of heat is liberated. Any gas dissolved in particular solvent, solution is formed including some amount of heat is liberated. Heat liberated means temperature less. So according to Le Chatelier principle, Forward reaction is favorable to exothermic reaction. Exothermic reaction with temperature less, low temperature. So low temperature means solubility more. Low temperature means solubility more. That is according to Le Chatelier principle. According to Le Chatelier principle, forward reaction favors the low temperature. Temperature, that means temperature, heat is liberated. Heat liberated means low temperature. That means low temperature is favorable the solubility. Low temperature means more solubility. High temperature means low solubility. That means increase in temperature, solubility decreases. That is a best example. Okay, so these are so temperature increases, solubility decreases. These are only applicable to gases in liquids. Gases in liquid. That is a so temperature factor. Temperature factor. Okay. Next one is nature of the solute. Second one is nature of the solute. Generally, easily liquefiable gases. Easily liquefiable gases are more soluble in water than other gases. For example, easily liquefiable gases are more soluble in water than other gases. For example, CO2 and NH3 are easily soluble than other gases like that H2, O2 because CO2 having more critical temperature. Gases having more critical temperature easily soluble water. So best example, CO2 and NH3 and HCl are more easily soluble water than H2 and O2 because these having high critical temperature. Critical temperature concept first year states of matter, Joule-Thomson effect, etc. Anyway, liquids having more critical temperature, so gases having more critical temperature easily soluble in water than other gases. Anyway, easily liquefiable gases are more soluble in water than other gases. For example, CO2, NH3, HCl are more soluble in easily liquefiable gases. Easily liquefiable gas means more soluble in water than other gases. Anyway, CO2, NH3, HCl are easily liquefiable gases compared to H2 and O2. That is a nature of solute. And another factor, nature of solvent. Nature of solvent. In this nature of solvent means gases capable forming ions in aqueous solutions are more soluble in water than other solvents. So simply, gases capable forming ions in aqueous solutions are more soluble in water than other solvents. Once again, gases capable forming ions in aqueous solutions are more soluble in water than other solvents. So, which gases are in aqueous solution forms ions? These are gases easily soluble in water than other solvents. For example, HCl. HCl means hydrogen chloride. So, HCl and NH3 easily soluble in water than other solvents. So, these are nature of solvents. Example, so HCl and so gases forming ions in aqueous solutions are more soluble in water than other solvent. So these are nature of solvent. Okay, these are one of the factor. Next, pressure factor. These are very important. So pressure, Henry's law. These are very important. Is a fourth factor important, pressure. Generally, gas is dissolved in particular liquids. Pressure has more effective. Generally, in this statement, so solubility of gas in liquids, so pressure is more affecting nature. Pressure is more affecting nature. So that is Henry's started one of the law. That is Henry's law. In this case, very important. The amount of gas dissolved per unit volume of the solvent is proportional to pressure of the gas at a given temperature. That is Henry's law. Once again, the amount of gas, the mass of gas dissolved per unit volume of the solvent is proportional to pressure of the gas at given temperature. That is Henry's law. Once again, statement. The mass of the gas dissolved per unit volume of the solvent, is proportional to the mass of the gas dissolved per unit volume of the solvent is proportional to pressure of the gas at a given temperature. That is Henry's law. Mathematically, m is directly proportional to T, m equal to kh into P. That is a Henry's law and Henry's constant. Here kh equal to Henry's constant. Henry's sign is very important. Henry's constant. So that is a Henry's law. Henry's law statement: the mass of gas dissolved per unit volume of the solvent is proportional to pressure of the gas at given temperature. Mathematically, m is directly proportional to gas pressure. So mass of the gas is directly proportional to pressure of the gas. M equal to kh into P. That means kh equal to Henry's constant. That is a Henry's law. So factors influence the solubility of gas. This is Henry's law. Next, Henry's law can be stated as most of the cases. Now, okay, m equal to kh into P. Okay, ma, writing. Henry's law formula m equal to kh into P. Mass of the gas, pressure of the gas, kh equal to Henry's constant. So 1 gas having 1 Henry's constant. Next another one is, okay, these are Henry's law. Henry's law can be stated as Henry's law. Henry's law also can be stated as another form, another statement generally. The pressure of the gas, Henry's law also can be stated as Henry's law also can be stated as another statement. The pressure of the gas in vapor phase. The pressure of the gas is directly proportional to mole fraction of a gas in the solution at given temperature. Most of the form of Henry's law that can be stated as the pressure of the gas in vapor phase is directly proportional to mole fraction of the gas in the solution at given temperature. Simply, pressure is directly proportional to pressure vapor phase. Pressure of the gas is directly proportional to mole fraction. That means P equal to Kh into X. That also Henry's law. Here X equal to mole fraction of the gas. Here X equal to mole fraction of gas. K is equal to Henry's constant. Henry's constant. That is a Henry's law. Henry's law also can be stated as the pressure of the gas in vapor phase is directly proportional to mole fraction of a gas. Mole fraction of a gas in the solution at given temperature. Mathematically, P is directly proportional to A. So P equal to Kh. So these are Henry's law. Now I will give one graph. If I am given one graph, partial pressure, mole fraction, this type of graph, partial pressure, mole fraction. Partial pressure, mole fraction, this type of graph. Now I am taking, these are one type of graph, and another mole fraction of HCl gas. Suppose here 300, 600, 900, 1200, these are torr pressure. These are 0.01, 0.02, 0.03, 0.04 like that. Mole fraction of HCl gas. Anyway, partial pressure versus mole fraction of any gas like that, this type of. Okay, so these are Henry's law, another graph. So generally simple Henry's law simple formula m equal to kh into p. Simply m1 by m2 equal to p1 by p2. That is another formula. First formula. So I given Henry's law two statements. Anyone can simply mass of the gas is directly proportional to pressure. M equal to kh into p. Simply m1 by m2 equal to p1 by p2. That is one of the important point in the Henry's law. So these are Henry's law statement. This is a pressure effect. And another one is limitations of Henry's law. Henry's law limitations of is there. Henry's law limitations. Write down. Limitations of Henry's law. So a limitation before generally kh value in this constant. kh value increases. kh value increases. Solubility of gases. Solubility of gases decreases at constant pressure. At constant pressure. So kh value increases. Solubility of gases in the liquid decreases. Solubility of gases decreases in the liquids. In the liquids at a constant pressure. At a constant pressure. At constant pressure. Henry's constant. Henry's kh values increases. Solubility of gases decreases in the liquids at constant pressure. So solubility of gases in the liquid decreases with increase in kh value at constant pressure. That is one of the important point. Next another one is limitations of Henry's law. Limitations of Henry's law. Limitations of Henry's law. Henry's law limitations. First one is pressure is not too high, not very high, not very high. And the second one is temperature is not very low, very or too. Third one is gas not highly soluble, not highly soluble, not highly soluble. Pressure is not very high. Limitations are Henry's law. Temperature is not very low. Pressure more pressure required, not more pressure. Temperature less, not very low. Gas not highly soluble. Fourth one is gases do not form, does not form or do not form any compound, do not form any compound with solvent, any compound with solvent. Gases do not form any compound with solvent. Next, gases does not undergoes dissociation. That is a limitations of Henry's law. Henry's law limitations. Pressure is not very high. Temperature is not very slow. In this case, pressure is more means temperature less. Pressure is not very high. Temperature is not very slow. Gas not highly soluble. Gas not highly soluble. Gases do not form any compound with solvent. And gases does not undergoes dissociation. So these are limitations of Henry's law. These are limitations of Henry's law. So these are Henry's law. So limitations. Okay, so okay children, thank you enough today. So today explain the solubility. Solid depends on solubility, how many types of solutions, so how many types of salts, what are the factors affecting the solubility of solids in liquids, and solubility of gases in liquids. And very important in this law, don't forget, in this law very important concept. Okay, up to limitation completed. Tomorrow applications, next concept tomorrow I will start. Okay, yes students, following. Okay, don't worry, all very important and easy. Anyone doubt, ask. Okay, okay, today enough remaining concepts, tomorrow I will start. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all.